electrostatics. Under the heading of electrostatics, our aim would be to derive the Maxwell's equation. So we have 4 Maxwell's equation, and I would go towards the Maxwell's equation while going through electrostatics and magnetostatics. We will get 2 Maxwell's equation from this electric field topic part and 2 from magnetic field part. So we have to go towards that. Once we derive all the 4 Maxwell's equation, we will enter into the waves. That is, we will combine the electric field and magnetic field, and it will give you a phenomenon of electromagnetic waves. So in this, under the heading of electrostatics, we will start with Coulomb's law first. So according to Coulomb's law, the force of attraction or repulsion, between two charged particles that is point charges is given by Coulomb's law. We can find the force of attraction or repulsion between two charged particles, and mostly we will consider the point charges. Now if I consider two charges separated by a distance r, two charges q and minus q separated by a distance r, then the force vector is directly proportional to q1 q2. Also force vector is inversely proportional to r square, and if we combine both this, we will get q1 q2 by r square. To remove the proportionality constant, we get f vector is equal to k into q1 q2 by r square, where this k is equal to, k is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught, where epsilon naught is called as the permittivity of free space. Epsilon naught is given by 10 to the power minus 9 divided by 36 pi farad per meter. So therefore we can write f vector is equal to q1 q2 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught r square into ar vector. This is very important now. Also, if you substitute this epsilon naught value in this k, we will get k is equal to 9 into 10 to the power 9 . So this is a constant k. This is the inverse of epsilon naught. So this will be meter per farad. Epsilon naught is given in farad per meter, whereas k is given in terms of meter per farad. Now force vector is given by q1 q2 by 4 pi epsilon naught r square into ar vector, right? Now you how to use this formula. So we will consider one problem, and using that problem I'll explain you how to calculate the value, how to use this formula. This is very important, especially this r. Generally this confuses the students. So this r and ar vector, these two has to be studied properly. Let me consider an example, simple example I'll consider. So if I consider 2 point charges, the position of this charge is 1, 2, 4, and the position of this charge is 2, 1, 3. This is AR vector and I have to calculate the force vector. Suppose this is my source and this is my destiny. So I'll just tell you how to calculate the value of R and AR vector. So R vector is always calculated using the destiny coordinates minus source coordinates. Now, in this example, what are the destiny coordinates? So the destiny coordinates are 2, 1, 3. So 2, 1, 3 minus what are the source coordinates? They are 1, 2, 4. So if I subtract them, I'll get 1, -1 and -1. And I can write that in terms of vector form. So vector is AX vector minus AY vector minus AZ vector. This is R vector. And what about its unit vector? So AR is, sorry, this is, okay, leave it. Fine. So 1 AX minus 1 AY minus 1 AZ vector. Now, what about the unit vector, this AR vector? So this AR vector is R vector divided by mod of R vector. This is unit vector along that direction. So R vector is this. So just write down this AX vector minus AY vector minus AZ vector divided by under root of 1 plus 1 plus 1. So it's AX minus AY minus AZ divided by root 3. So this is how we can calculate AR vector. So every time these two are very important. So you must know how to calculate the value of R. So R value is found by subtracting the source coordinate from the destiny coordinates. So just subtract them, you will get the coordinates of R vector. Now next we will study, okay, let me solve one simple problem, one complete problem. So the problem is find the force at a point 1 comma pi by 2 comma 5 having magnitude of 10 nanocoulomb due to a point charge of 1 comma 2 comma 3 of magnitude 20 nanocoulomb. So this is a simple problem. Let's see how to solve this problem. Here what I have to do is I have to find the force at this point where 10 nanocoulomb charge is there due to a point charge of 20 nanocoulomb which is located at this particular position 1 comma 2 comma 3. Now if you observe the coordinate of the 10 nanocoulomb charge, they are given in terms of cylindrical coordinates. So what I have to do is first I have to convert them into Cartesian coordinates. So the Cartesian coordinates will be, so it's rho phi z. So we know that x is equal to rho cos phi, y is equal to rho sin phi, and z is equal to z. So rho cos pi by 2. So cos pi by 2 is 0. So I'll get x as 0, y as 1, and z as 5. So my coordinates are 0, 1, 5. So these are the destiny coordinates. First what I'll do is I'll find the r vector. R vector is destiny coordinates, destiny minus source. So the destiny coordinates are 0, 1, 5 minus source coordinates are 1, 2, 3. So this will be minus 1, minus 1, 2. So r vector will be minus ax vector minus ay vector plus 2 az vector. The unit vector is ar vector is r vector divided by mod of r vector. It is minus ax vector minus ay vector plus 2az vector divided by under root of 1 plus 1 plus 4. So it comes out to be minus ax vector minus ay vector plus 2az vector divided by under root 6. So this is my ar vector. Now I can directly find the force. So F vector will be Q1 Q2. So Q1 is 10 nanocoulomb. I also have 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. So the value of that will be 9 into 10 to the power 9 into 10 into 10 to the power minus 9 into 20 into 10 to the power minus 9 divided by, we have r square mod of r. So r square is actually the magnitude of r and its square. So we have observed that the magnitude of r is nothing but 6, root 6, sorry. So it's 6, root 6 square. And also we have ar vector. So ar vector is minus ax vector minus ay vector plus 2az vector divided by root 6. So if you solve this, you'll get the answer. So this is a simple example of calculating the force due to one charge on the other charge. So this much force is exerted by the 20 nanocoulomb charge on the 10 nanocoulomb charge. If the reverse is asked, then we'll just substitute a negative sign over here because the direction of r will be reversed. That's it. There is no other change. So this is about Coulomb's law. Next is electric field intensity. So you can solve this and get the answer. I'll not waste the time in that. Electric field intensity. So it is the force experienced by a unit positive charge placed in the field of influence is known as electric field intensity. Now, what is field of influence? That means if there is a charge placed in the space, and if I try to find the force experienced by another charge, which is a unit positive charge, by bringing that charge near the in the field in the influence of the other charge, that particular force is called as electric field. In simple words, force experienced by a positive charge when it is placed in the field of another charge, when it is influenced by the other charge. So we know that, so from this we can write E vector is F vector divided by Q, where Q is nothing but unit positive charge. Just now in the Coulomb's law we have seen that F vector is K into Q divided by R square into AR vector divided by Q. So Q and Q gets cancelled. I left with KQ by R square into AR vector. And if I substitute the value of K, I'll get Q in Q by 4 pi epsilon naught R square into AR vector. Now, so this particular equation represents the electric field intensity due to a point charge. Also, you observe here that electric field is independent of the magnitude of destiny. That means on the magnitude of the charge on which you are finding the electric field. It is just it just depends on the coordinates of source and destiny, and it is independent of the magnitude of density. Also, electric field is inversely proportional to distance. So as we increase the distance, the intensity of field decreases. So these are certain observations based on this expression. Now there are different charge distributions. So types of charge distribution. We have basically four types of charge distribution. First is point charge, which we have already seen. Point charge. So for a point charge is very small. Then second is line charge. So line charge is nothing but it is distributed in one dimensional axis. So charge distributed in one dimensional axis is line charge. So suppose this is a line charge. Now the length of this, if I consider a small length dl, so always a line charge is represented using point charge is always represented by Q. Similarly, line charge is always represented by a factor called rho L. Rho L is called as line charge density, and it is given in Coulomb per meter. That means how much charge this line charge contains in a unit length, that is given by rho L. And if I have to find the charge enclosed by this entire line charge, then what I'll do, I'll multiply this with the length. So therefore the total charge in a line charge is given by integral rho L into dl, where dl is nothing but unit length, a small length. So if I integrate this rho L over the entire length, then I'll get the total charge which is possessed by this line charge. Now electric field formula which we have seen earlier can be modified for line charge as E vector is equal to integration rho L dl divided by 4 pi epsilon naught r square into AR vector. If I consider a circular ring, a ring of charge, this ring contains charge. So in this case, what will be dl? So in order to get dl, we need to consider cylindrical coordinate system where this is my phi, this is my rho, radius. So the dl will be rho d phi in this case. As we have seen in the coordinate systems, it will be rho d phi. This will be your dl. So for a circular ring, this is for circular ring. So for circular ring, you will consider dl as rho d phi. This is line charge. Similarly, we have surface charge. We have surface charge. And it is given by surface charge density rho s, given in terms of coulomb per meter square. That means how much charge is enclosed by an unit area. And in order to find the total charge, what you will do? You will multiply this with the total area of that surface. So, and you can modify the electric field formula also. And we have one more type of charge distribution, and that is called as volume charge distribution. Volume charge distribution. So in volume charge distribution, what we will do? So here you will represent this by rho v. Rho v is in coulomb per meter cube. That means 1 meter cube, 1 unit volume contains how much charge. In order to get the total charge, what we will do? We will find rho v dv. And the electric field formula can be modified in the same fashion. So Q is rho L dl. It is also rho S ds. Obviously you will have double integral over here, and here you will have triple integral. So rho v dv. So these are the, so this is point charge Q, this is line charge, sorry, rho L. Line charge rho L dl, surface charge rho S ds, and volume charge rho v dv. Now we will find the charge due to we will find the electric field due to all these different types of charge systems, charge distributions. We have just written the formula. Now we will consider a case where we have to find the electric field at a point due to a line charge. So now we need not go through the derivations, go into the derivations. We will directly write the formulas for this.